So he goes into his room, shuts the door, goes out the fire escape, and books it, right? But the thing is, in this escape sequence, he falls out of the fire escape and lands in just an open trash bin with all the garbage. And so it was such an interesting visual way to show, like, this character's just really in the garbage right now. Like, he's got the police after him, which is not good. And he's also got, like he's just the worst. He's a piece of garbage. That's what we're looking at, right? And then he jumps out of that and books it. And then it's like, well, let's see if he can pull it together. And like in a twisted turn of events, will Marty Mauser be able to pull out of this?
Hello, welcome to the HolmFront, where we keep everything objectively subjective. I'm Tyler, your host, and to my right, as always, is Mitch, my overly artistic friend. So, we have gotten a couple of the Oscar-nominated films under our belt already, just because they were films we wanted to see anyway.
Yeah.
We haven't done this one yet, and we actually have an official list out, so we're probably going to do the Oscar film stuff later, but this is a film we just both enjoyed, so we wanted to go over it. I just recently saw this. You saw this like 2 or 3 weeks ago, but
yeah.
What movie is it?
It's Marty Supreme.
Marty Supreme with Timothee Chalamet.
Yeah. So what we'll do is now we're getting into talking about the Oscar films. This is a big contender. I think it's third in terms of most nominations. So we'll talk a little bit about that maybe, but like you said, I don't think we're going to get it too much. There's a lot to unpack with the film just on its own merits. And so it's kind of the similar treatment. But we'll give our recommendation, of course, the kind of top level comments recommendation. Then we'll get into deep dive into it. Long and short, though, I highly recommend. This was a great movie. This is my movie of the year. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah, it's a really good one for sure. It's an interesting twist on this type of narrative. I equated it to Rocky, but like if Rocky was kind of a scumbag and didn't really care what he did to win.
Yeah.
Kind of like what Sylvester Stallone actually was. Anyway, so we'll...
I don't know about that one. But, it's interesting that you make that comparison because I associated it with American Beauty. Okay. And I've heard people associate it with other movies as well. And I think that's partly what makes it so interesting is that it's really an amalgamation of a lot of different movies.
Yeah.
And kind of puts them together and sort of paves its own way forward. So the basic premise of this is that it's very, very loosely based off of a real-life table tennis player. And we're following the incredibly overconfident and incredibly immoral Marty Mauser and his attempt to prove to everyone around him that he's the best table tennis player in the world. And along the way, everyone else treats him like hot garbage and leaving you to wonder whether or not you should hate Marty, root for him, or a little bit of both.
Sure.
So I think that's my summary.
That's excellent. I think that's perfect. Yeah. Is there anything that you would like to recommend or mention before we get into spoiler stuff?
Just a few things. I will say, like, in terms of style, I really loved the way that this was done. Like, the production design was just phenomenal. And it was apparently done on a fairly cheap budget. It's the most expensive film A24 has produced.
Oh,
but
wow. Okay.
It's still like cheap for what it is because it's a period piece. It takes place in the 1950s.
Yeah, 52 to 53, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, so that gives it that's a lot more work when you have to put it in that specific time because it usually like ratchets up the budget because you can't just use like ordinary clothes and
all
things
the
like
costumes, all the sets, all the cars. Yeah, like everything has to be different.
And a lot of things, like in the opening scene, he's working at a shoe shop. Apparently, every single one of those boxes has like old shoes in it. They were all like real, and they had everybody just working as if they were selling shoes. It's for not a very long scene, but it's like that level of detail, so that what's happening in the background just always feels very authentic, which was really nice.
Okay.
The cinematography too. I don't know what they did exactly, but it just felt so. It just felt so good. It just felt so like real. Like I was just seeing. Real and like we're not hyper editing like the color coding and all this like to get it right or just like blasting the saturation. It's just kind of like nope, that's kind of what it looked like. And then there's a bit of that to kind of make it tonally kind of fit all together.
Yeah,
but it just was really, really nice.
It has a very Ron Howard Cinderella Man feel. Yeah, its own very like classically done. feels like a movie that was made in that time, like early 2000s, about the 50s.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's nostalgic in a way, and I think that's what they were trying to do, because they also have a score that was like synth. It was like 80s, but it actually
kind of like
80s,
a Stranger Things score,
right?
almost.
But it actually had 80s songs in it too, which is
yeah,
like 2 official 80s songs. That it was like a very interesting choice for a period piece. Typically, you try and relegate it in, but I think that was probably their way of like disengaging it from reality a little bit further. Because if they're loosely basing it off of a real character but not wanting to tell an actual biopic, then maybe it's like, yeah, this is our version of his story, and we don't want you to be too pulled in, because like the more you try and add authenticity, even with the music, the more you're going to take it seriously as if it's his true story. But I think part of it was that, and also it's a good soundtrack. Probably coming off of the Stranger Things hype and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I read an interview when it came out with the director, and he was talking about how it was sort of like the reason that choice happened is that after in the 1950s was after World War II, and so there was kind of this like American spirit that we had, and then that becomes revitalized again in the 1980s when Ronald Reagan was president. So like those were like the two kind of core eras in American history, certainly in the last 100 years, where people felt like great to be American.
Sure.
And I think that's really on point, and you can really feel that. Like, he also said that this movie, you could say, is basically could have been titled "Being an Idiot in Your 20s,"
Which it was.
My
goodness.
But I would also add that you could call the movie just like if America was a human being.
Okay. Yeah.
And because I kind
of
feel
all
like
its quirks and
all its quirks and faults and flaws, and just sort of like he sort of has this like commanding need for attention, but it kind of makes sense because he's just the little guy getting picked on by anyone and everyone who just thinks that they can just take advantage and harness him for their own benefit. And there's just these moments where he pushes back against that. And I got to say, as an American, you can't help but kind of respond to that and be like, yeah, like they are doing you dirty. Like, screw them. Like, you are a great tennis player. Just show them who's boss, And it's like, it's not the right time. It's not the right context, but you just want it to happen. So you just get pissed and you're like, just do it now. Just screw that guy.
But that's not to say that he had a character worth rooting for at all. So,
yes. So,
plenty of flaws there.
Agreed. I will say, too, about that Oscar conversation, I wasn't willing to predict it last season, and I was right. Adrian Brody did win, to the groan of us all when his speech went on for too long.
Oh, my God, yeah. That was terrible.
But this time, I do think Timothee Chalamet will win.
For this film?
For this film.
Okay.
Yeah. Because it's not he's not going to be shattering that many records. I mean, it's like pushing the boundaries a little bit. He's going to be among the more noteworthy figures to win it this early. But I just think like
he's like 32 or something, isn't he? Something like that.
No, he's 30, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, or maybe he's 31 or something. Actually, he's born on December 27th.
Wow.
So he's a Capricorn. I didn't know. But But the reason I think he'll win is that it was weird because when I finished the movie, I was kind of thinking about it on the way home, and I sort of thought like, yeah, his performance was great, but it wasn't like on the level where like the Complete Unknown thing where I was like, wow, he's just Bob Dylan, like incarnate. How crazy is that? It was sort of like there's still like bits of him in there, but then I thought about it and I was like, man, imagine being dealt a role where you're just like the worst person on the planet. And you have to somehow make us be passionate and care about what you care about when you're doing these terrible things throughout. And I thought that's a really tough ask. And then I think he really pulls it all together in the end, which I won't spoil right now, but I will later. But he does, like, his performance in that scene alone was like, man, there's so much complexity and layers here that he really does force you to contend with all of it. He doesn't let you kind of be like, well, I can just throw that part of that character out the window. He's just like, well, here's all of it. Here's all of it. Here's all of it. Right. And he just has so much of that energy pulled in on himself that I just feel like nobody else has that commanding of a performance this season. And I just feel like when it comes down to voting for it, this will be the one award that it'll win. It should win a lot more, in my opinion, but whatever.
We'll go over that later when we do Oscar videos.
Yeah.
Anything else you want to do in the non-spoiler section, or should we just jump in?
It was snubbed for score. Screw that.
That does suck. That was a good score.
Yeah.
Yeah. For despite its like, I don't know, rejection of being a period piece score, it was a really good one.
Yeah.
Would recommend listening to it. All right, let's jump into spoilers then. Let's talk
Let's
about
do
the movie.
So I'm actually curious to kind of ask you your overall thoughts, because I've heard of bits and pieces.
Okay.
But I kind of wonder, like, just what do you think of this movie? I said to go see it. I thought you'd like it. Did you see it with someone, or did you go solo?
I went solo.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say anything else. So...
All right, that sounds like a story.
All right, so yeah, so I saw it. Very interesting. Like it felt, like I said, it felt very classic, like the way it was made.
Yeah,
It
it felt
kinda...
like watching a film from the early 2000s.
Right.
It made me super nostalgic too. I just wanted to watch old 90s movies.
Yeah, yeah. It made me want to go watch Cinderella Man. Like it was very much reminiscent. Just had a lot of heart to it, but it also, like you said, it has kind of that weird element of being mixed in with just almost everybody on screen's a scumbag.
Yeah.
All of them. And so it's hard to like pick someone that you root for, but Marty Supreme does toe that line really well. And he does it in a couple different scenes that I think make it, those scenes are indicative of how he does that, I think. Namely, there's one where he sees a Gwyneth Paltrow's character walk in, and a bunch of people tell him who she is. She's like some famous actress from back in the day, but she's aging now. I think Gwyneth Paltrow is like early 50s or something. Like she's not that old,
so.
but like
Yeah.
obviously for an actress, that's like, oh my gosh, you're almost dead. So he sees her, and he's obviously attracted to her. He finds out what room she's staying and calls her.
Mm-hmm.
And so he finds out that she's married. She says it on the phone, but she stays on the phone, and he's clearly expressing interest in her.
Right.
So it says interesting exchange where all the endearing properties of him are being utilized to charm this woman, even though he knows that she's married. But she's also staying on the phone, allowing this to happen.
Right.
She keeps saying goodbye and then not getting off.
Right.
The thing about it is, what he's doing is terrible.
Right.
Is it like even before he knew that she was married, it was still pretty kind of like sketchy at best.
Right.
Then he finds out she's married, and it almost sounds like more of a challenge for him, because to him all it is a challenge.
Yeah.
Because that's what he does. He's like,
Mhm.
I'm in it for the competition. I'm in it for the game. This is the game to me. The end result is just sleeping with this woman. It doesn't matter if there's anything comes of that or not.
Right.
This is just the challenge. So I'm gonna surpass that challenge, surpass the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And it's moment to moment for him. The thing about it is he puts his whole heart and soul into this. It's just like, this is my current passion. I'm going to get this thing, and I'm going to put it all until I get it. And then once I get it, I don't know what to do. He's like, I got it. I made it.
Yeah.
And so then it's just like whatever the next thing comes. So the endearing factor of that is that he puts his heart and soul into whatever he's doing, regardless if it's good or bad.
Yeah.
So like, regardless if you agree with what he's doing, you can see that passion in him is something to be admired on some level.
Yeah.
Because he puts that in everything.
Right.
It's not just these scumbaggery things.
Yeah. It is. I am going to segue into the table tennis thing, because that's a more
right
neutral space, let's say. But I do love that scene, how he's like talking to her, and then it's like he kind of fails, like the conversation fizzles out.
Yeah.
And then she's like, okay, well, that's it, basically. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm a big admirer of your work. It's like just the
She's
pause.
like, never seen my movies.
It's just like, I have to think of this. Okay, let me try this tactic. Like, he hasn't given up.
Right.
Just the fact that there's enough like processing of that. Yes. And so in another example is actually him playing table tennis, which, by the way, this was like the coolest table tennis movie ever. There's not that many, but this was, I found that enormously entertaining to watch. Like, some of the moves that he does were like crazy.
Oh, yeah.
And I guess I watched a little bit of an interview with the two of them, and Timothee Chalamet can do all of them. In fact, every move you see that all of the characters do, they can all do them. They did say that they use some visual effects because it's hard to do them all in sync, like the way it happens in the movie. Like, you do one crazy move and then 5 other crazy moves after that. That's a little harder to do because of the unpredictability of where the ball is going to be.
Right.
But nevertheless, they can do them all, and they've practiced them. So that's really cool. And it feels like super authentic just to watch them play. And like even at the start, like the first tournament he's participating in, it's like, he's just destroying everybody. But there's this other competitor he's watching climbing the ranks as well, called Endo, who's Japanese. And this guy is just like super focused and just like, it's like he serves the ball and then they can't even block it. They just can't even counteract at all. So he's taking them out before it even starts.
He's got some weird like paddle as well. So his technique's different and his paddle's different. And so Marty's just locked in. He's like fascinating.
Shoot, like I got to figure out how to beat this guy. And then they have to confront each other. And it's just super engaging to watch, like the tension back and forth of all of these. It's like, man, because I was like, what is this? A table tennis player, a ping pong player?
It's pretty good, though.
It's also fascinating, too, how passionate he is about something that nobody cares about.
Right.
Like, especially in the 1950s. Like, nowadays, table tennis is a lot more respected. But, like, then nobody gave a crap about table tennis. And so for him to be like, I'm a table tennis player, I'm the best in the world. It's like, what?
Well,
what game?
He even has a scene where that kind of comes up. So he finally, no, I don't think he'd had his conquest yet. But he's still locked on to Gwyneth Paltrow. And one of the things he does to win her favor is he sees her and her husband sitting at a table, and the husband's in like a business meeting. And he's like, he calls the waiter over and he pays for the table. And that leads to the husband coming over and confronting him about it. He's like, who are you? What are you doing? Why are you doing this?
Because mind you, this guy is like, he's the owner of like some pen like
company. Yeah.
Rockwell Pens or whatever. So he's like super
extremely
wealthy.
Well off. Yeah. And then his wife's this super celebrity. So she's obviously well off.
Mm-hmm.
He's like almost offended that this kid's like paying for him and all of his business tycoon buddies. And so he's like, what's your deal? Why are you doing this? And he's like, what do you do? And he's like, I play table tennis. He's like, what is that? He goes, this is the fastest up and coming sport in the world. It's going to be in the Olympics or whatever. Like he's like talking it up as if it's more important than it is, because to him it is.
Right.
Like this is what it's his world. So therefore it is this important. Doesn't matter what the truth is or what the perception is.
Yeah.
But it's an interesting way for them like progress Marty's storyline, but also introduce how the common sentiment is towards table tennis without having to harp on it.
Yeah.
It's like, here's just kind of like a brief interlude, but also this is more about what Marty's doing than it is about table tennis itself. Because it is about him. It's not about the sport he plays. It's about why he plays it and what it means to him. And, throughout the whole thing. So within that, obviously, he's trying to get the attention of Gwyneth Paltrow, which is the scummy side of things. And he's doing it by blatantly disrespecting her husband. But that's right, because she goes up to his room after that. So, by him disrespecting her husband is what gets her attention, which also, like I said, everybody in this movie has come back.
Well, yeah, because the husband, you find out later, is kind of a sadist.
Right.
Who doesn't actually care about the fact that this is going on, or
Apparently.
if he's even aware.
I don't think he ever becomes aware.
Yeah.
I don't really know. That wasn't really clear.
Yeah.
But he does exercise his power over Marty just because he can.
Right.
So that part, yes, did exist.
Yeah. To give a little bit of context to that, essentially what happens is he does see Marty play and is like, wow, this guy's actually pretty good at this sport. And the Japanese really like this game too. They just had their player win the tournament. So, okay, what if I do this? I'll fly out to Japan. I'll do this, expose. I'll sell my pens and I'll support this player for them and kind of get in that way. And, essentially just do a giant advertising campaign. And then he wants to rope in Marty to do that for him, but he wants Marty to lose, to replicate the same scenario over again.
And that
pisses him off, obviously, because he's the best player. He can't have that.
Right. So the context of this is that Japan, coming off of World War II, obviously doesn't have great optics. So they're trying to, they're trying to enter into more of these like neutral portions of the world. So when this guy's in here, he's doing more than just playing table tennis. Like he's bringing honor to the country by bringing honor at all. And so that was one of the things that they're expressing, is that this man is putting his heart and soul into this to like gain some kind of recognition for himself and for Japan. So when Marty goes up against him, Marty just cares about the fact that he's the best player. Yes. I'm going to go win against that guy because he beat everybody else. So I beat him, then I'm the winner. I'm the best.
Yeah.
So when he loses, and it's close. He gets close, but he loses. He just throws a fit because all that he knows is that he lost, and that can't happen. That can't be real. That's not. That doesn't happen in reality. So he like says, "Oh, he cheated, or you threw the game, or what? I want a rematch," and like he's shouting
He's
at everybody.
a bad sport.
So what the tycoon sees is that Marty just made that guy famous in Japan because now Japan has some kind of notoriety because they beat all of the best American players in this game. It may be an obscure game, but he just did something notable. So Marty's the one that created that notoriety by being the best American player that the Japanese guy beat.
Yes.
So to him, he's like, I can just use this as a business opportunity. Japanese people are all going to love Marty because he's the one that provided that opportunity.
Right.
It doesn't matter that he was the rival. It just matters that he was the obstacle over which this Japanese guy got. So he's like, I will do this expose. You two will go against each other again. You're going to throw it. You cannot go win because that will ruin the optics.
Right.
They just want a repeat of what just happened today. But to Marty, it's like, this is just my opportunity to get my rematch against this guy that beat me. So like everybody's using everybody in all of these scenarios. But the fact is that Marty sees this as the opportunity to go against this guy. However, he lets his pride get in the way. He's like, I want an actual real rematch. I'm not going to go do it for some show so you could sell pens. Right. I want an actual rematch. So he lets his pride get in the way and says, I'll do it on my own merit. Through events of the film, just determines that he has no merit. He has no character. He's just a really good table tennis player, so he has to go and grovel back to this tycoon. He's like, look, I'll do your thing just for the opportunity because I've lost all my money. I've lost all my credibility.
Yeah.
I might end up in jail. This is my last chance.
Right.
And the guy's like, you already turned me down. You're this terrible person, blah, blah, blah. So he's like, there's one way you could do it. You're going to grab one of your table tennis paddles, and I'm going to spank you with it in front of all these guys.
Yeah.
Weird thing to do. What's wrong with you? That's so weird.
But it's like it revealed that low that
Right.
this character actually goes to himself.
Right.
And I think that's where the movie kept winning me over. Like the part that got me on Marty's side, for the most part, obviously I don't agree with all the immoral things he does.
I hope not.
But like, if there was one to choose, is like earlier on. Well, actually, am I pivoting too much?
No.
Okay.
No, this wasn't a direct line to get to that point where he's like the sadist weirdo.
Yes, exactly. So earlier on, he's working at the shoe store, and he's supposed to get his paycheck so he can fly out and do the tournament or whatever.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, I'm going to win the tournament, so I'll get my money then. But like, I need the ticket so I can go now.
Yeah.
And his boss gives him the lip and is like, oh, well, I'll pay you later or whatever. And it's like, okay.
In fact,
whatever.
He tries to sate him with some promotion that was deserved to somebody else.
Right.
He's like, yeah, I'll make you a manager. Just forget about it. He's like, I want my money. I don't care about a manager position. I'm not staying here. I'm going to go win. I'm going to leave. I'm not going to be here anymore.
Right. And so he, convinces the other guy there in this funny scene to like force him to give him his money that he is owed. And then after that scene resolves, when he comes back home, his boss has the police at his door and is like, all right, we're going to talk about this or whatever. And he's like, because you stole from me, so we could take this down to court, or you could come back, work on the shop, pay that off or whatever. And Marty's like, and I'm sitting there going, what? Like, he was owed that money. That was his money that you deprived him of. And now you're making up some BS about how like it's now his fault and he should have to take the fall for this. And I was like, what is this, man? Like, you're keeping him back. Like, he doesn't want to work there. He wants to do his other passion. You should have just done what you should have, like, you should have been honorable and said, yeah, I owe you this money.
You worked, I pay. Bada bing.
That's it. That is our exchange. Like, it doesn't have to, like, it sucks you don't get the manager you want, but too bad. Like, he has a choice in this.
Sure.
And you're just like, oh, well, I don't want that. And there's other things too, like his mom, like, is conveniently sick when he needs her for something.
Right.
And she said she would be there and do that, or she'd drive him to the airport or something like that. And then she's like, oh, well, like, I can't now, or I forget what the reason was. But it was just like these series of events that at some point you start to piece together and you're like, wow, it's like, is anybody just like going to be like, yeah, no, I believe in you. Okay, how do I help you? It's like most of them just seem like they were just like, oh, well, how can I leverage you for me?
Right.
And it was like, so then it was harder to blame him for some of the things he does because you're like, well,
you kind of have to be opportunistic in this world. So whatever opportunity he can get, he's just going to take because everyone's already taken from him. Some kind of justification in there that might be morally gray at best, immoral at worst, but still.
It was at least you could understand him on a human level.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It made him a more complicated character, I think, too, as a result, because it sort of put the things he does in a context that now added clarity. So he wasn't just like, oh, I'm the best player and nobody can beat me. It was like, it's in opposition to everybody who thinks he's just like a waste of space and isn't going to amount to anything.
Right.
And so it was like, oh, like I didn't realize, but they're not telling that to his face. They're trying to like manipulate to get something out of it. And like, he just sees between the lines. And then when you get to see that too, you align with the character a bit and you're like, sheesh. All right. Like I get it now.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah. Those were all great parts of the film for sure. In that, I know we skipped around a lot, but we were kind of following through lines. I think maybe that's our shtick, is that we got to fix, or we got to find that like character trait and follow it all the way down to because there are other things that are obviously happening during all this. One of which, he has a girlfriend that's not a girlfriend, who they introduce right away, that you find out is married.
Yes.
So he's already pretty scummy.
Right.
But you find out later that so is she.
Right.
Like a horrible individual.
She's totally manipulating him in a number of ways.
But
and
I mean,
it's weird because he does something that is kind of honorable to defend her. I don't want to give too much of the spoilers because I do think this is worth just seeing for yourself.
Oh, great.
But yeah, he tries to like kind of defend her because he thinks she's
somehow.
Defend her honor, and you're like, yeah, like I mean, it's a little much, but like I get it. Like yeah, all right, we did the right thing there on a moral level, and then like you find out later, like more context, and you're like,
misplaced.
oh, I kind of maybe I don't agree with that.
But at the same time, you understand why, because she created the scenario in which he went to do that.
Right.
But the thing is, like, that was probably one of the things that was endearing about him, because he definitely created or was a part of the scenario that led to this series of events. But once time came, he's like, well, I will go and defend this thing. I'll do something about that.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, at least he stepped up to the plate there. Right. So there's a quality that is good. It's maybe misplaced, but it like you can understand why that was done.
Yeah.
And you can understand the motivation behind it. So there's something there that is tapping into something good, even though the rest of this is all just caked and bad and nasty.
It's like his integrity is good, but his maturity is bad.
That's a good way of putting it. Yeah.
He has like zero maturity, but he's like not
in everything.
Everything.
All of it.
Yes.
Every decision he makes is a stupid one.
Right. But again, the integrity of a number of actions, I would say most, not all of them, but there's quite a few of them where it's like, you know, being a performative statement and like, oh, I'll just lose. It's like, well, that's not really an honest match. It's like he has a point there.
Right.
And then like what he does to like defend his girlfriend, I guess, is kind of like, yeah, like, you know, that's wrong. Like you need to step up to something like this. So there's like those elements, but I almost feel like his environment is such that there's no real avenue to like he doesn't seem to just follow in a good role model of how to like actually perform those good deeds. And instead it's like, well, I'll just be selfish because everybody around me is being selfish. Sure. And that's where I think the movie kind of comes together in the end, where he sort of like gets all the selfishness that he can handle. And it starts to be at the consequence of so many other people.
It's his accomplishment. I was the most selfish. So now I don't have any other accomplishments to go towards. Yeah, it's like Alexander, and he's like, I've conquered everything. There's nothing else to conquer. I guess I'll go die now.
Yeah. What's left?
What's left to do?
Yeah. What's a man to do?
Yeah. What do you normal people do? This sucks. This is boring.
Yeah.
It's
precisely.
I reached furthest down into the depths of the mire. Okay. Right.
Yeah, for real. So like he does that, but then like he has to go back home.
Right.
And it's just kind of fascinating that he just kind of goes back to see his girlfriend who like really needs him. And he's like missed a number of critical points in that. Mm-hmm. But he still came back anyways, which is what is supposed to do. And so it's like he's aware of that. And I tell you, that performance was crazy because like the way he's interacting with her, there's just like a noticeable shift. And it's not a lot, but it's just slightly. And he almost kind of like, he's like sitting with her in the hospital and it's like real quiet. The music stopped. Everything's just kind of silent. And he just looks like he's like
Out
so
of
out of
place.
yeah, he's just like, I don't know what to do with myself here. I'm used to like showing off in ping pong.
Right.
And now I'm like sitting here in an environment that I understand what it is, but like, what am I supposed to do with this? And then it kind of like hits him when it's like the most visual in your face kind of way it could be. And that's when he just breaks down and is like, man, and then you're just left, that's it. You're left to wonder, like, so is he like feeling like
did maturity just slap
resentful?
him in the face, or is he
Yeah.
just mad now?
Mm-hmm. Well, I didn't think he was mad. You thought he was mad?
No, but more like, wow, I've just wasted all that
Mad at
time.
himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely something with regards to reflection. It's just hard to know what exactly. But that's the beauty of it, is that you just project into that, because you already had all those answers that he didn't have.
Sure.
Yeah,
that's fair. It is an excellent, because that is the ending of the film, is that realization. It's an excellent way to end for that character, because it's an interesting way to like question how much effort you're putting into something and how much that's worth. Right? Because once he's achieved that thing, it seems like such an honorable high goal.
Yeah.
But then when he gets it, it's like,
you feel so deflated.
Well, now what?
Yeah.
It's literally just like, I did all this stuff. In fact, I like stooped to all these lows to achieve this goal, and now I have achieved it, and I don't know where to go from here.
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing left. That was what you made your entire life about.
Right.
So then now that you've crested that hill, it's like now it's just completely meaningless.
Yeah.
Because you can't apply that anywhere.
Right.
So he beats his opponent, and it's like, well, I can't take that with me. Like I can't harness that feeling and drink it every day. Like it's just kind of it was a one-time deal, and now it's over.
Yeah.
So now you have to find another meaning in life. And
I liked, as hard as it was, I liked how him winning the game has to be at the consequence of beating Endo, which is like,
who actually had an honorable stake in things.
Yeah, someone who just, from what we could tell, seemed to have a lot of integrity to like he just plays the game fairly. He gives Marty a chance to fight him again, like at a fair match, which he didn't have to do. Like this is just a performative thing, and like he's not really warmed up for that, so he just is like doing, a gracious thing on his part. And then it's like in front of, the entire Japanese audience has to see their hero fail.
In Japan.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's just like really insulting.
America came over to their soil to put him down. Like, I want to win. It doesn't matter what the bigger implications are. It just matters that I get my win.
Right. And that's why I feel like he's in some ways the embodiment of like just America as a nation, where it's like, okay, well, I got to beat down all other countries to be like, I'm the best. We're the ones who knows what's going on. You can't win at anything.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter how small.
Yeah. But at the same time, you balance it out with the things like the integrity to certain actions, right? Of like, it should have been a fair match. Like, well, you weren't really wrong about that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And like, you should defend someone who is like being mistreated. It's like, well, yeah, that's not wrong. And that's a very like American ideal too, is like, because Americans love to be heroes, right? It's like, we have the opportunity to be a hero. It's like, I'm taking it. We're going to do that. Like, human life is an absolute premium up here in the U.S., as opposed to any other country in the world. And, that also coincides with the idea that it's a very young nation. And so it's impulsive. It's
idealism is still showing. Yeah.
Right. And so it's still kind of having to grapple with the ropes. But again, all the other nations in the world are just taking advantage of you, because it's like, oh, well, whatever, we can do whatever you want. And then at some point, the dog bites back and is just like, F you, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm actually a better table tennis player than you are.
Sure. We're going to send our guy over there to show you.
Yeah. So that's why I thought what made the film so reflective and so fascinating as just like an art piece. That's why I think it should win Best Picture, because it's such an interesting, like, I think this movie will age enormously well. I think you're going to be able to watch this in like 30 years and be like, wow, what an interesting like portrayal of like a way to, as a lens to view America in a number of different ways. And that's totally what the Oscars is all about. But I don't think it'll happen. I don't think it'll win. I think they're going to go with.
Do you think this is going to be a full-on snub?
No, I don't think so, because I think Timothee Chalamet will win Best Actor. And that's a pretty, and he's going to be outbeating the actual Best Picture winner, Best Actor, if he does. So
would you say, what other things do you think this thing should achieve? Screenplay?
yeah, I would give it
Cinematography?
screenplay, director,
Oh, okay.
picture,
All of it.
score. I would give it all of it. I would give it the whole thing pretty much.
Okay.
Because again, like, as much as like Sinners for cinematography, it's like, yeah, Sinners looks really nice, but like it also has that kind of modern look to it. Things have to be like, it just feels like it's done up. It feels like there's too much of
almost
the
stylistic.
yeah, it's just that you're airbrushing things or whatever. And like this just didn't have any of that. It just felt like it was authentic. And there's so many things that are just really subtle that you can grab and take with you. Like for example, when he goes back home and the cop is trying to is going to like arrest him, and then he's kind of negotiating with his boss. He's like, "All right, well, I'll go with you, and then let me just get changed or whatever." And they're like, "All right, fine." So he goes into his room, shuts the door, goes out the fire escape, and books it, right? But the thing is, in this escape sequence, he falls out of the fire escape and lands in just an open trash bin with all the garbage. And so it was such an interesting visual way to show, like, this character's just really in the garbage right now. Like, he's got the police after him, which is not good. And he's also got, like he's just the worst. He's a piece of garbage. That's what we're looking at, right? And then he jumps out of that and books it. And then it's like, well, let's see if he can pull it together. And like in a twisted turn of events, will Marty Mauser be able to pull out of this? That's kind of what it felt like. Just like in a subtle way. I was like, huh, that's so interesting. That kind of like ebb and flow, rise and fall of the character.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not a consistent trajectory. It's a
it's
a roller coaster.
Yeah.
But I mean, it falls in line with what the director was saying, that this is kind of like just your 20s in a movie.
Yeah. Being an idiot.
the amount of idiotic decisions you make growing up.
Yeah. I also just appreciate like its frantic balls to the walls energy. Like it was such an energizing film.
It was. That's
I was
true.
like, wow. And unlike like J.J. Abrams, where it's like, whew, you're kind of tired afterwards, you kind of drained. I don't know what the magic is, the difference, but this one, I left the theater just super energized. I was like, wow, I have so much life.
You've got to like your characters for one, and they've got to have some complexity. That's probably the most that thing has, is that you were kind of like, well, I don't know if I side with him, but certain times I do and certain times I don't. So you have this kind of complex relationship with what you're seeing on screen, whereas J.J. Abrams is just like, I think for this one we should run. I think we should all just be running in this scene. Like, towards what? Well, I didn't figure it out. I don't know. What should we run towards? And that's all it is. It's just like, it's just pumping it. It doesn't matter if it's organic. Just pump in the energy. It's like, dude, all right, man. I am tired. I feel like I just ran a couple of miles for your movie, but all right. But yeah, I think that's the difference, is that this one has authenticity and sincerity and character, which is noticeably absent for most of Abrams' films.
While we're on the subject, do you feel like this movie, do you think I'm right about that this movie will age well?
Oh, yeah.
You think so?
Yeah. I didn't dislike this movie at all. I think I had a different experience than you did with it. But but yeah, no, it feels so classic. I think that was probably the biggest thing I liked about it. I keep harkening back to a Ron Howard film, but that's what it felt like. It was cool to see a very classic looking film, even within my time or my lifetime. Like, it's not like it's old or anything. Early 2000s, this is almost 30 years ago. So it's cool to see a film that looks like it was made in that time that still looks this good today, because I think it did have a pretty good reception, right?
Yeah, the reception's been really well. In fact, I think it's one of A24's most successful films, if I'm not mistaken.
Thank God, since it was one of the most expensive. So
yeah, that lucked out for them. Yeah, it had kind of a interesting marketing campaign because essentially, I guess Timothee Chalamet, I haven't been following all of it, but Timothee Chalamet has been acting kind of like his character in like promotional material.
Okay.
So he's just this like cocky a-hole in like parts. But there are so many things that, like, it was weird. Like, there was an interview of him and he was talking about how he's like, they had to, he's like, I had to wear contacts that really messed up my eyesight for the film. And then I put glasses to correct it on set. And it's like that's so ridiculous. Like, why would you need to do that? So I thought he was making that up. But then he talked about it in a different context, and he was just being more of himself. He was like, yeah, he's like, those contexts were really messing up my eyes. And he's like, because I guess the director wanted his eyes to be a little bit like his pupils to be dilated or whatever, or shrunk down a bit, so they're a little more beady, so he looks a little bit less like puppy dog like approachable. Kind of like when he's in Dune, he seems like the young prince archetype. In this, he's supposed to be kind of like a deceptive,
almost,
conniving. Yeah, so he needs to have those smaller. So apparently that was screwing up his eyes, I think. But I'm like, oh, like that's so funny that he was like playing it off in this like super serious, like, look how tough I am, giving top of the line performances. But then I find out later, I'm like, I think he actually was just doing that. Like, that's crazy.
He was giving a real bit of information in character. Huh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
He's an odd fellow. I haven't seen too many of his interviews, but he seems like an interesting guy to be around just in general.
He is.
He's an odd aura about him.
He does. Yeah. But I do think he genuinely loves acting. And just wants to be.
I loved his speech. I forgot what award he was getting.
The SAG.
It must have been. It's the one where he went up and he's like, "Look, I know you're supposed to be like humble and stuff, but I want to be one of the greats. This is just I'm in it to win it." I was like, all right, I can appreciate that at least. Like, good for you. Cool.
Yeah. Which again is like the Marty Supreme character, like that American attitude. It's like you can be the person to like completely change your life around if you just put all of yourself into it.
Sure.
And there's something that when you have a society that allows people to pursue it to that degree, everyone around you at some point is going to find that energy infectious. Sure. And that gives them something as well.
They'll either want to leech off of it or try and latch onto it.
Yeah. And so kind of like, I like the fact that they did make this a sports film in the loosest sense of the term, because the ping pong scenes allow you to see him perform a feat that you can tell is like, wow, that's like a crazy good.
Right.
Like, you clearly are an expert at this. And then you get to be an audience member who gets to experience that infectious energy.
Right.
Right. So I don't know. There's just a lot of real power, I think, to that. That makes it really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hope he wins. He should win. It's crazy.
Of all the
good.
things, of all the nominations he's gotten, it's like, dude, he's done plenty of roles that deserve it.
Yeah.
Bob Dylan was probably the better one so far. Although I think Dune was still a really good performance. Like, Bob Dylan was so much more dramatic. Not to mention the amount he put himself through to get. Like, he was actually singing, actually playing the guitar, and he matched Bob Dylan so well.
That was crazy.
Now knowing that he like put himself to learn table tennis and be that good, dude's a monster.
Yeah, he has like such a range of skill sets now. It's like you cast him for a role and he'll just like learn whatever it is he needs to do. Yeah, it's wild. That's such commitment.
He's probably got some computer at home that he just goes and he's like, Marty Supreme, download all applicable services. Expert tennis player. All right.
Yeah, data upload.
Yeah, seriously. He's an android. He's not real.
Yeah. Next will be a conspiracy theory on how Timothee Chalamet is.
I know someone's watching our video like, it's true.
Yeah.
Well, anything else you want to say about Marty Supreme?
There's so much, but I think I want to leave the rest. Even though we did do some spoilers, I feel like it's still new enough that I really don't want to be like, giving away so much, because so many great lines. But I will say one of the characters has my favorite line. I have to get this one off my chest.
Okay.
You probably know what it is, too.
Probably.
It's when he comes up and he says to Marty, I was born in 1901. I'm a vampire.
Oh, yeah. No, he said 1601.
Oh, 1601.
Like, you know what I've been doing for the last 300 years? I was like, where did this line come from? This is so, wow. He's like, I've seen people like you rise and fall. I was like, what is, I liked his, because I think he actually responded to that. I can't verify this, but he like kind of like looks at him like, okay. I was like, that's how I responded just now. That was weird. Well, if we're going favorite lines, I'm going to put mine in there then.
Uh-huh.
There was a scene where they're talking, it's before the first time you see him play table tennis. They're talking about him going against a buddy who's Jewish, and he was in the concentration camps. It's like, he's like, they're like, oh, you're going to have a hard time against him. Because, no, I'm going to do to him what the concentration camps failed to do to him. I was like, holy crap, bro. Oh, my gosh. Woo. Yep, that was hilarious.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's like he himself is Jewish.
Right.
He plays a Jewish character in it. So like it's just not connecting to him. Again, consequence doesn't mean action at all. So he's just like, he doesn't realize that he would have been in the camp too.
Right. Doesn't matter. I'm going to beat him. That's all I care about.
Psychopath. Some of the lines, the dialogue, so great though.
It was really good, yeah.
Because like some of these lines, I'm like, whoa, where did that come from?
The script definitely should get some accolade for sure.
Yeah.
At least a nomination. Hopefully.
It did get nominated, at least the Oscars, yeah.
Okay.
The script's up there.
Awesome. I hope it loses to Wicked. Do you have anything else that you need to say on this one?
No, I think we'll call it there.
All right.
It's a great movie.
It was. Definitely recommend. Go watch if you can. I think it's still in theaters, right?
It's got really long legs, but I don't know about by the time this video comes out because we're recording this probably a couple weeks in advance.
Yeah.
But
well, if you can, go see it. Thanks for watching. So you made it to the end of the video. If you liked it, please consider subscribing and leave us a comment. We'd love to hear what you thought.